The Port Harcourt-Enugu rail line through Makurdi to Kaduna, which served as the Eastern Rail Line, is now empty, and weeds have covered the tracks after all the rails and sleepers have all been looted away. Only the rail lines on road crossings within Makurdi town are left with vehicles driving over them. Meanwhile, the tracks have all been removed. An investigative journalist who witnessed the removal process by the vandals claims there's an international dimension to the vandalism, and the cover-up goes as high up as the presidency.
How many people can buy railway lines here? How many? Look at the rural community. Who's going to buy it? Except there's somebody bigger outside. They gather here, contact the person, he buys, contacts, it goes further up, even to the presidency from what I gathered during my investigation.
The old River Benue Bridge perhaps would have been looted too, if it were not too obvious a public infrastructure that served both trail and vehicles in the early 60s. There was a fresh attempt to remove the rail leading up to the bridge before our crew got to the scene. At a press briefing in Abuja, suspected rail line vandals were paraded by the NSCDC. The spokesman for the agency says there is no going back on the efforts to clamp down on MAX as a matter of urgency, all those suspected to be involved in aiding and abetting rail line vandalism in the country.
The marching order given by the Commandant General to clamp down and unmark as a matter of urgency all those suspected to be involved in aiding and abating rail line vandalism in the country paid off with the recent interception and subsequent arrest of 5 fully loaded articulated trucks with vandalized and stolen rail track sleepers disguised as scraps, metals and iron on their way to Ilorin, Kwara State.
A total number of 13 suspected rail tracks vandals were arrested alongside 5 articulated trucks conveying large quantities of vandalized rail tracks, iron sleepers stolen from 5 different locations within Kaduna State.
Total number of 13 suspected rail track vandals were arrested alongside 5 long articulated trucks conveying large quantities of vandalized rail track, iron sleepers stolen from 5 different locations within Kaduna State.
The Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps in Benue State says although not all activities going along rail lines are illegal, criminals are taking advantage of the building process to loot the rails.
There is this concession of these old railways to various contractors by the federal government to dismantle them and cut them accordingly. That notwithstanding, we still have a lot of cases of railway lines or railway sleepers vandalization in Benue.
In Nasarawa State, 4 young persons suspected to be railway vandals are in the custody of its Nasarawa State Command. They were nabbed in Lafia, the Nasarawa State capital of the Special Intelligence Squad of the Corps boss, with a truck loaded with rail tracks disguised as scrap metals en route to Kwara State.
He accosted this vehicle en route Makurdi, Lafia, Akwanga. They were accosted around Sabon-Pegi under Shabu development area, not Lafia North development area in Nasarawa State here.
The NSCDC says these economic saboteurs and their accomplices across the country who are hell-bent in vandalizing the nation's critical infrastructure and national assets will be identified, arrested, and prosecuted. Benny Ark, Channels Television News.